Welcome back to Boks Unpacked. It's a super weekend of rugby. The Boks are taking on the All Blacks. Unfortunately, Shamir is not with us. He is in New Zealand, so you can listen to him in commentary. But we are joined by another World Cup winning Springbok in Francois Louw, and I'm joined as always by Scala. It is a super weekend, as I mentioned. The Boks versus the All Blacks. Prior to that, it's Argentina taking on Australia in Townsville. And to wrap up the weekend, we have our Bok women taking on France. So without any further ado, let's unpack the Boks. Welcome back to another episode of Boks Unpacked. It's a massive week, the Boks versus the All Blacks. It's always huge. So much interest in this game, and we've got a very special guest for the show. Unfortunately, Shami, as mentioned already, is in New Zealand, but we have got the Breakdown King, Francois Louw, with us, yeah? Flo, welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be here with my old friends, my old teammates.
Yeah.
Welkom, Floki. Thank you.
It's lekker, and obviously joined by Schalk as well. Do you guys still sit close to each other because of that altercation that you had on the field, at breakdown time, at the rec?
I can't remember too much. What happened there?
No? Was it there?
Well, I always thought there was like an unwritten rule when you play against your own teammates, in the Premiership, for example. There's a little bit give and take. Look, first carry, I remember it very well. It's actually a nice clip. I've actually got it saved on my phone of Scala getting the ball and charging elbow first. And that
Such a nice guy.
Such a nice guy. So that went out the window, but other than that, yes.
Well, wasn't he like staying with you the night before or something like that?
Every time we played against them at Bath, we made a long weekend out of it. So Saracens, we didn't have a captain's run. So we used Friday as our travel day. So I would just drive down with the family and then stay with Floki. But, Flo chased too many rucks. So I had to get him somewhere else. So I was running after him the whole bloody time. But the rec, they were good at the rec. They were not so good at in Barnet, away from home. But at the time, at the rec, we didn't get any results against them over there.
And glory days now at Bath, they flow.
Yeah, amazing to see how they've turned around. I mean, Johan van Grant had a massive influence there and, just sort of brought the side together. I think that's something that was always going to be the big challenge for him, to really combine the players that he had, to sign some new big names, to pull them together as a side and, to get the Prem trophy last year on the back of the previous year losing in the final. I think is a huge compliment to what he's done, and hopefully they keep up with that.
Yeah, they're looking really good. Just to quickly come back to the clash that you guys used to have, we saw the Lions series this year. When you were up against Schalk, there was no.
This is bloody nice to kick this one off. I thought we're going Flo's renovation. Welcome back into Cape Town. He's building a house right next to me.
I'm blaming Freddie. And the next one
I think I need to see Freddie. He's on the computer.
Yeah, that's why he's in England and not
no, I'm going to go chase him down.
Flo was annoying as a player at the breakdown, but not as annoying as Rob Webber, right? Was he?
He was my ultimate. You have to replace someone in South Africa. Maybe back in the day, you'll go Derek Keane's face. That was one I put up on my wall. And then I went across. I had to replace it with someone. And fucking Rob Webber, every time. It was at Bath first. Then he went to Sales Sharks. And that's how he played a bit more.
He played a bit more, yeah.
And I chased that man around. He was a little podgy hooker. Lovely guy, offered, big moustache. But my word, he was the worst of the worst. How do you know these type of things?
Interesting facts that you're coming up with.
It brings out great memories. I'm close to 10 years from retiring from international rugby, a couple of weeks away. It's been 5 years since you've retired. What are you up to now? Back in SA, obviously. Tell the internet out there and the people on SuperSport. Obviously, you can watch this on SuperSport as well. What are you up to now, Flo?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, been amazing to move back to South Africa. Myself and the family, we moved back, almost 9 months ago now. Having spent, a very long time in the UK, a wonderful time there, great rugby experience, great life experience. But back in South Africa, back with our people, being closer to family has been awesome. It was an interesting transition for me post rugby. I think I went quite cold shoulder to rugby and actually sort of completely drifted away from not watching anything, not following anything, and maybe that was suppose my way of dealing with it. It was also over COVID period. I mean, the rugby was a little bit
About to say, like
disjointed.
I think for older rugby player, COVID period must have been the worst of the worst.
Yeah, so I had about 3 months of that. They wanted me to come back, finish the season end of 2020. No crowds at the stadium and that, but I think at that
The
stage,
eternal preseason.
I'd made up my mind. Skylar, there was no way I was going to run circles around my garden to stay fit.
Stay fit. Yeah.
That's why I called it.
You've always been so committed to the
Thank
fitness.
I've always been very fit as well.
When that bottom jaw starts going
Going
out.
But that being said, stayed on a couple more years and now moved back to South Africa. New opportunities, new direction away from rugby in the financial services space, which is exciting. And
New
hopefully it
house.
goes right.
There's a new house up the road for me.
Skylar?
I mean, converting those pounds nicely into rands. Eh?
There was a benefit of that, of course. But that's run out already. I mean, Renos are just, it's an endless money pit. You can smell the cash burning. So.
Yeah. When you get desensitized to just giving out money, it's actually, we get used to it, but like it hurts.
It
It
is.
hurts.
Yeah. It's not nice.
No.
But you'll have a nice place to spend a lot of time with your family at your house in beautiful Cape Town.
Yeah.
Summer's just around the corner. I mean, the weather's turned out. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's turned. But
Yeah.
Floki's is in a race against time, I think. We were thinking November.
We're hoping November.
Yeah.
Arnold under pressure.
Yeah.
We're hoping it gets done. But either way, I mean, it's great to be in the neighbourhood up the road from Scala.
Well, a Sunday ago, Floki said, no, let's quickly pull in for a little site visit. So I got there, loaded a little cooler box, a couple of beers in. We had one of my kids with me, the other one was at some kids' party. He was cracking beers, and we were just like strolling through the building site. That this is like a place. Here's the swimming pool.
Just say again, what was one of your kids cracking the beers?
Yeah, he was just cracking the beers. He's a fetch, cracking the beers, carrying it to us. The fetcher.
The fetcher.
The fetcher.
It was
Okay.
barmaning.
I mean,
barman.
two fetchers. Surely there should be a fetcher
I know.
in the next generation as well. Just quickly, Schalk. I mean, you've done fantastically well in transitioning from being a player, now the punditry, and then other work stuff as well. How difficult was it for you?
It's tricky because of the unknown, and I think the part in rugby which you sort of rebel against, or I did at least, is the fact that you arrive in South Africa in January, and pretty much every weekend's booked until December.
Yeah.
But then when you leave rugby, I think it's the part that sort of kept us together, is that's the rigid structure. Pitch up on a Monday, Tuesday looks like this, Wednesday maybe off days for some, not for others, and then you go travel on the weekends. And I remember phoning around, bouncing ideas off John and Schalk Brits, and everyone post-rugby's got a different feel to it. I wanted to have a little sabbatical. John was straight into his next job, covering over at Schalk Brits, had 29 things going on, whether he wanted to go study or take a sabbatical, work, and eventually ended up in Remgro, and then made a comeback, and then made another comeback, like he's probably still looking at a comeback, like luckily he's not in New Zealand this weekend. He probably would have been on the bench. Russie would have phoned him up. But so I think that part's hard. But then once you sort of have your time off, get over the fact that you're a rugby player. And I went to watch the Boks play Australia at Ellis Park, and my missus phoned me halftime and said, "Are you missing it?" I said, "Absolutely not."
Yeah.
Like once you've parked that part, I think it's quite easy to move forward.
Yeah. Even now, sometimes you see the guys running out the national anthem, then you kind of get that. That feeling.
Yes.
And then it's that first kick, first tackle, you're like, nah, I'm all right. I
normally, I enjoy it until the first goes off with the injury or gets knocked out. And I was like, guys, thank you. I've done my bit.
I think you're always going to miss those big occasions. I mean, you see that.
I miss the changing room. That's the only part I miss. It's like, say you beat the All Blacks in New Zealand. Like we've got an opportunity to do it in
Auckland, where we never did it.
We've never done it.
Where it's now possible.
They've gone 50-0 over the last 30 years. I mean, that changing room, you can't recapture that post-rugby. There's no such thing as, doesn't matter how nice your business is going or how well it's gone, and this is a successful meeting. There's a good night in the forest. You don't quite have that camaraderie of, everyone pulling together.
That is quite sad. That potentially you'll never experience those elated or high emotional moments ever again. I mean, there's different things that happen in your life, and
we'll still be your friends.
Thank you.
We'll We can, Bri.
Also-
we can celebrate as if we've played.
Also, on the other side, I don't think you ever get as low as you did when you just got thumped by the All Blacks
Yeah.
somewhere. You know, like that changing room, that quietness, that Sunday, how uncomfortable you are. I mean, our drive after that Japan game in 2015 from
Brighton to
from Brighton or Eastbourne to
where was it?
Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah.
And we had a couple of driver swaps because they only had to drive a certain. We had a lunch.
It's a little bit silent.
And we had
Yeah.
a scone and tea, and luckily I packed in 6 beers just to keep me going.
But also, then you get the laptop open, you do a bit of analysis, and
No,
then you start swirling slowly but surely. You go deeper and deeper.
I didn't touch that game. There was no chance. Like the funny thing about that, I was sitting back left. My speaker was on. I had 6 beers in a little cooler box between my legs. And I could see the media liaison officer walking through, trying to get someone to do the interview in Brighton. And eventually he arrived at me, and I was like you've got a road trip and you've had your 6 beers at breakfast. You know you're not sitting behind the wheel. I thought that's the sort of theory. I into it blocked myself. And eventually he got to me and he's like, Schalk, you're the only one left. I said, partner, just let you know, I've just had 6 Heinekens. And he says, perfect man for the job. And off I went. Did the little media conference.
Talking about change rooms and happy change rooms and celebrating together, quick shout out to the Proteas. Went to Australia, won the series convincingly, and then absolutely destroyed England the other day.
I think England will be better. I think they played too much 100 over the last month. I mean, they got bowled out in 24 and a half overs, is it? Maharaj again, eh? 4 for 30. They got off to a good start, and then, it looked like the wicket was quite good, dragged the ball back a bit, and then they just started nicking it off.
Yeah, and
Markram
was off to a fly.
Same, their debutant Baker had a hard start to it,
Not ideal.
Proteas chasing 130, and he went for 75 in his 6 overs.
Yeah. What did you make of that game, Flo?
Well, what can I say?
Chris?
Well done to the boys.
The boys,
Bring it home.
They're looking good, eh?
So good.
Yeah, no, such a keen follower of the cricket. But our Proteas side, they're looking really good. It's good to see. It's good to see that they're back on track. It shows you a little bit of confidence as well, eh?
Yeah, and
winning the Test Championship, now suddenly down to the limited overs as well. We're looking good. Also, where we are looking good, Springbok ladies. First time ever made it into the quarterfinals. We play France this weekend, but we've already qualified for the quarters. Like I said, best performance ever. And I must say, I actually watched the game against Italy.
Yeah.
Some lovely tries scored and some magic in that back line.
How nervy was that last bit?
It was very nervy.
We're not so good at closing out the games, but the girls played phenomenally well. Swice is obviously attacking Guri, and I saw his speech afterwards and how proud he is of the girls. And congrats to our girls. I mean, France this weekend will be a bit of a better test, but maybe that's the game that you need to springboard into getting to your quarterfinals. So,
because it'll just you get a victory there, then obviously the pool that you play cross over. You play second and not the top team. I'm not 100% sure who that is, but I mean, if you look at England really strong, New Zealand really strong. I mean, France will be a massive, massive test. If they can get one over France, that'll be huge.
And what it will do for the girls' belief, all of us will be tuning in. Me and Johns, we've got an early start on Saturday. What's our call time in Randburg?
It's 3 a.m. Yeah.
Do you go to bed then on Friday night?
By the time, if you are watching this, if you are watching this on SuperSport right now on Friday evening, we're back in studio in like a couple of hours' time. Okay, so you'll just see us all the time. Flo, but coming back to the women's game, a coach. You spoke about Johan van Graan and what he's done at Bath. Swice the Brain coming in and now coaching the ladies. You can see the effect of someone with a lot of experience, bringing that experience to the squad, and the players, you can just see that they thrive under him and his coaching team that he's put together.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of elements. You can see the way that they're playing and the type of rugby that they're playing. They've got great characters within that side. But Scala just referenced his post-match speech, and you saw the enthusiasm, the excitement that he had with that and with the team and how they performed. I mean, it's a huge integral part of it. I think I always say that a coach's first responsibility is to get the best out of the individuals, the players, then to coach rugby, and you can see the way that those ladies are playing. It's a good brand of rugby. You know, they had a solid performance. And having played a little bit with Swayze, I know the kind of coach he is and what he does for the guys, and to pull them together and to really get them to excel. And you can see that in the strategy and the pattern. It's an exciting brand that they're playing at the moment.
You were a breakdown specialist. Yes.
Thanks.
Check it says breakdown specialist, Francois Louw, but also a crucial member of the bomb squad. I see the women's, they've got their own bomb squad, but they're now being called the Blom squad.
Oh.
A Blom.
I don't know how to take that, John.
I saw someone saying the Blom squad.
That's got a good play on the words there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I don't know where I want to go with this, but just throwing it out there, you know. The bomb squad for the Boks is not firing on all cylinders. What have you made of that? You were part of the
OG.
the original bomb squad. Is it just down to personnel? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting element of the game now, because Rassie really experimented at one stage. It was going to 6-1, and I mean you might as well put 7 forwards on the field. The way that those players were at that stage and the size of them, I do think it's important that you use that just as a strategy amongst many strategies within a team, and for different games require different approaches and different ways of doing things. I think there was a bit of a precedent set that every time the bench came on, that they would just crunch time and they would turn the game or win the game or work it out, which is not always going to be the case. Those players are chopping and changing. I think this weekend we were going with a 5-3 split. You got 3 backs on the bench again. Where go back a couple of years, that's when Rassie brought on the big bomb squad in Twickenham against New Zealand, and that was
7-1.
Full forwards going in there. I think it's just where we are at this stage. We're carrying a few injuries. I think we saw the effects of a bomb squad effect when Eben came on last week. Just brought a couple of the old heads on again. But we've got a couple of young guys on the bench coming in this weekend. And I don't think it's necessary to be an experienced player to have an impact. But I think there's definitely something said to have the confidence of that bench and coming on collectively and having a specific job to do and carrying that out.
Scala, the championship, rugby championship as a whole, it's been very competitive, and we haven't seen that in quite a long time. We'll get into the games and the analysis part of it now as well, and the team selected. But that's what we want to see, right?
Yeah.
The Boks and maybe the All Blacks have gone down a little bit, but certainly Australia and Argentina are catching up, and so is the rest of the world.
I think you see in our predictions on this show, we haven't got them right. You look at the 2 games this weekend, I mean, they're hard to split. Obviously the All Blacks Bok game's always hard to split, but then how hard Argentina, Australia is to split. Last year we would have said Argentina would walk it. It's not the case now. Actually, just not to watch me and John on Supersport, but that's going to be an exciting game. We've got to go through those backlines. There's some pace there.
Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, then we will take a deep dive into team selected for the Boks and the All Blacks, and then we will be predicting. Let's just do that again. What we think will happen on the weekend, but 2 massive games in the Castle Rugby Championship.
Cody from Paul has sold multiple vehicles to We Buy Cars. Suspicious? I think so.
Is that a crime?
No. Where are you getting the cars?
I buy them and I sell them at the spot like a normal person.
Okay.
No, man, I'm just an accounting student. I know a good deal when I see one.
That's Excel. Meant. What's more stressful, tax season or selling a car at We Buy Cars?
Tax season, obviously.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Okay, guys, as mentioned before the break, we will now take a deep dive into the team selections. But before we get there, Francois Louw, we will be predicting the result of the game. Before we analyze, we're going to predict. So what we do is we put our betting hat on.
Okay.
It's new. That's why it's got that. I don't want to mess up my hair.
I see that.
See, do
You
that.
can't, John.
Do you
you
do
can't
that?
mess up that hair, boy. You can basically be in a mall now, and you'll come out looking exactly
There you
the
go.
same.
Okay, so Flo, I mean, you obviously just want to say thank you for the tickets for the game.
What tickets?
No.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you very much for the tickets.
Okay, thank you, Betray. No pleasure.
Much appreciated.
No pleasure. Okay, guys. So we've got. We went with 4 bets that we have. So you are betting on behalf of Shimmy. Okay. Did you speak to him prior to
I haven't
that?
spoken to him. no,
Okay. Well,
no.
you better speak to him.
He was
'Cause we've
with Matt Dunning last
yeah.
night, which is not a good omen because the previous time we saw Matt Dunning in the same restaurant, had a couple of beers, the Boks lost.
Okay. Well, don't go there.
I'm sounding like Hanneke Meyer. I'm a little bit of a coach here.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting
We've still-
superstitious. Yeah.
Scala, we've still got our 1,000 Rand risk-free bet going, so that's still open. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll only know by the end of
By
the
the end of
Rugby
it.
Championship. But the Betway League table is as follows. Myself and Shimmy are top joint with 2,500 Rand each. And Scala, you third with 700
Because
Rand.
I had to blame James O'Connor for that.
Yes, because of the missed kick.
I mean, I saw you doing a thing with him online. Did you
Yeah.
tell him that he owes me money?
No, I didn't. I just thanked him.
He missed.
So,
I mean, come
you
on.
taking over from Shimmy.
Okay.
We've got 4 options. So Scala, so we've got an SA handicap of 2.5. What that means is the Boks will win, and if they win by 3 points or more, then odds of 3. So each of us putting 300 Rand in. So for your 300 Rand, you get 900 Rand if you go with that bet.
Okay.
Second one we have is a New Zealand win by 1 to 7 points at odds of 3.6. So for 300 Rand, you get back 1,080 Rand if it's a win for New Zealand between 1 to 7 points. The third option is New Zealand by 8 to 14 points at 4.5. So 300 Rand gets you 1,350 Rand. And the fourth one is South Africa to win between 1 and 7 points at 4.2. So for your 300 Rand, you win 1,260. What are you going
I
with?
want to know what you go first.
You goes
'cause
first.
You
goes
go first because
I'm
I've got to
going-
do the opposite that
Yeah.
you're doing. I've got to chase you down. How many bucks am I behind you?
You are 1,800 bucks behind.
Okay.
Okay, good luck. And the 1,000 Rand still in play for the risk-free bet. I'm going with the SA win 1 to 7 at odds of 4.2. That's what I'm going with.
Is that now, that option's taken? So
No,
Yeah,
you can go. You can go
back it
for
up.
whatever you want.
So-
So it's a handicap of 2.5 for the Boks, or the Boks of between 1 to 7, or New Zealand 1 to 7, or New Zealand 8 to 14.
So option 1's a handicap, or was it 2.5?
2.5.
But it can be more.
Yeah. So if they win with 3 points or more.
I think I'm going to go with option 1.
Okay.
Orca to win by more than 2.5 points.
Okay. At odds of 3, so you will be winning 900 Rand if that is the case. Okay, you going with that one?
All Blacks 1 to 7.
You're betting here now.
I'm betting now.
You're betting.
All Blacks 1 to 7. And what do I get there? 4.2?
1 to 7, 3.6.
3.6.
If you go All Blacks 8 to 14, you get 4.5. I mean, now it's the lure of the.
No. All Blacks 1 to
Yeah,
7.
there's a little bit of patriotism there. as
Yeah,
well.
no, I can't just go like All Blacks by
Okay, there you
14.
go. Oh, betting hat off again. All Blacks to win. Schalk Burger. All Blacks to win. 1 to 7. SA handicap of minus 2.5. And I go with SA by 1 to 7. Shimmy, Flo has put in your prediction.
A good one.
Guys, now, All Blacks versus the Boks. Massive. Always massive. How many games did you play against All Blacks? Do you know?
No idea, but there was
In excess of 20.
yeah, there was plenty.
Yeah. Do you know how many you played?
I played 12.
12. You know what question's coming, right? How many did you win?
What? 2014.
2014. Yeah.
Drew one.
Yeah. And drew one. Yeah.
And Drew won.
Yeah.
The because you took a hell of a long time before you got that first one. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to go.
No,
We don't have to go.
Let's leave
into
it at that.
Eden Park, 2013. Both of us played. It's the last time a test was played between the Boks and the All Blacks at Eden Park. It was the.
When was
first
the
month-
Buckies birthday hit? But 2010 or 29?
Yeah, 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
2010.
Jimmy Cowan.
Yeah, Jimmy Khan.
Sorry,
Bris-
Cappy.
But sorry, Cap, it's
Sorry,
a bad
Cappy.
angle.
It's a bad angle, Cappy.
So we need to tell that story. Bucket with the headbutts, Jimmy
Khan.
Jimmy
So
Khan.
Jimmy Khan pulled him back first, and then they were chasing a ball that was like hacked through.
Jimmy Khan headbutts him. John Smith goes to Bucket. Bucket, did you do anything? No, nothing. No, I didn't touch him. Goes on the big screen. So you see Bucket goes, boom! He goes to Smith and says, no, Cappy, it's a bad angle. Again, other angle. Boom, straight like that. Off, yellow card. Sorry, Cappy.
Sorry, Cappy.
Off he goes. Massive game, that one. But the history of Eden Park, all the 50 in a row for the All Blacks. 1994, the last time they lost at Eden Park. Ardie Savier's 100th Test match. The last time the Springboks won at Eden Park, I think it's 1932 or 1936 or something. So in the professional year, we have never ever done it. Can we do it?
Look, I mean, you always believe it when you play. I mean, it's like what we did with Ricky January in 2008 in Dunedin, House of Pain. Similar type of record.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. I normally say you don't go against the venue. Like, I believe that as a player that you can do it. And to be honest, let's clarify this thing, because when we used to play the Auckland Blues at the Stormers, it was our favourite travelling venue. Like, we won with bonus points there year in, year out. There was one of those stadiums where we came alive. But for some reason, the All Blacks are a different monster there. I really believe last time I was across to New Zealand, I think it's 2 years ago, we played at Mount Smart, and I thought we'll get our first victory in Auckland because we didn't play at
Eden Park.
Eden Park, and we got thumped in the first half predominantly, and then fought back in the second half. So we didn't get that result. Hence, I think the All Blacks are favourites for this weekend. We'll dive into the team a little bit later. I think next week is our test.
Possibility.
Is Wellington is our test.
But let's go into the teams then, Schalk, because I think both these sides not that settled. You look at the All Black team that's been announced. You look at Imoni Narawa on the right wing up against Kane and Moody. There'll be a contest. The battle for this weekend will be the battle on the ground, but also the battle in the air.
Yeah.
And I think we are odds-on favourite to win the one in the air, where we've been poor on the ground.
Yeah.
The pressure on someone like Narawa, Carl Preston on the bench, making his debut. He's basically fourth choice, I would say.
Parker, the Blightside flanker.
Parker, moving from 8 to 7. Where do you see from the New Zealand, the All Black team selected, where are the opportunities for us?
So obviously they've got big issues at scrum off at the moment. So Finley Christie's back. What's his name? Preston makes his debut. No Cortes Ratama, no Cam Roygaard. Both of them are exceptional players. I think for them the comfort lies within Bonan Barrett, Geordie Barrett, Will Jordan at 15. You look at the way we've set up our team with Villiers playing at fullback for our backfield predominantly, which looked pretty thin and not well organised. Ethan Hooker on the bench. So if it doesn't go Kanan's way, I think Ethan can play right wing. He's also tall, lanky. And the ball's got to be above Narawa's head and Rico Iani's head. And Rico played centre for the bulk of his last 5 years. So the aerial contest is going to be hard for them, I think, to handle. You've got to look up front. I think the impressive part about them is not the second test match against Argentina, the first one, when they do get 22 entries, how they almost go the Bok way, where it's more pick and go. And their conversion rate in the 22 has been exceptional. If you throw back that to South Africa, which our discipline has been poor, and we've conceded, a lot of turnovers in the first 2 games, whether it's handling errors, penalties at breakdown. So if they, get 22 entries, the Boks are in trouble. And then I just want to know, what Bok team pitches up. Do we go, the Bok team that pitched up at Ellis Park, where it's, kick-to-pass ratio of nearly 13 or 12, or you go the second one where it's 1 and 3 passes as a kick. So I think we've got to find that balance.
With the team selected, you're probably going to go the latter, right?
But I think Villiers in.
Yeah.
And Villiers will unlock opportunities and step up as that second playmaker. What do you think?
Better balance.
For us, the bench, Bomb Squad, Flo touched on it earlier. There's a trust thing. Russie, trusted the Bomb Squad back in the day. Hence, they came up 45 minutes. All 6 of them came on. You look at it now, you go, all right, we've got Malcolm Marx played 77 minutes the previous game. You know, so like Jan-Hendrik Wessel's back on the bench, so maybe there's a bit of more of a balance. But like quite clearly, Malcolm is now the favourite to play the bulk. Siya Kolisi gets picked predominantly because something happened to Jean-Luc Dupré. Unlucky for him, second test in a row. He got played against the Barbarians, got knocked out. You know, he's having a bad run. Is Siya ready to play longer than 30, 35, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Hence we go for a 5-3. So you've got Kwagga covering him. RG Snyman then misses out because you also got to cover what happens in the back line. So I think our starting lineup's the best what we've got if you take how many loose forwards we've got out. You know, no Cam Hanekom, no Elrich Louw, no Jasper Wiese. He's back next week. That will get him a start, no doubt. So I think the teams are evenly matched, but then we've got to get to Eden Park. I think Eden Park for the All Blacks, this All Black side is worth a couple of points.
Flo, have you? I don't know whether you've watched the All Blacks. You know, Simon Parker at 8 made his debut earlier. Moves to the flank. Tupavai, who I thought has done really well, converting from lock to flank, blindside. He moves back into the locking position. Just that combination, you know, Satiti, we know, has been amazing at 8. Parker and then Adi Sevilla versus Marco van Staden and Pieter-Steph Siya. Where do you see which loose trio would you favour going into this one? Because we know that will be a massive challenge, and the Boks have not been great this year when it comes to breakdown.
Yeah, I think so, and I agree they haven't been exactly where they're supposed to be. And granted, Scala touched on the injuries that we've had to this point. You know, it was evident that Australia got a foothold in the games at the breakdown, us not having much of a presence there. And I think now, looking at the way the game's played and how interchangeable second rows and back rows are, being able to do that switch, even Pieter-Steph at every odd moment locking down in the second row, the game plan, or rather the style of play is pretty much similar in that regard, you know, bar the specifics around line-out time and scrum time. Adi Sevilla is going to be charged up. It's his 100th, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, amazing moment for him, and congratulations to him. It's well deserved, a stalwart for New Zealand rugby. And I think that motivation is probably going to carry through. I mean, there's always a tight little knit relationship with all the loose forwards within a game. You know, and having these other guys with him, you know, there's no doubt that he's going to lift them. So I think it is going to be a big challenge for us. Siya needs to show dominance at 8. It's not his out-and-out position, and you know, granted, it's only at certain moments where it's out-and-out 8 role, but you know, historically and generally, we've always had, you know, a big, strong ball carrier, someone who's very physically present within that moment, and we're able to handle an element of aerial pressure as well, a different scope of game that you would on this as an out-and-out open side or blind side flanker that South Africa have generally gone for. Well, they're going to have their hands full, no doubt. I don't think they'll necessarily be chasing their opposite numbers, but they'll have to show physical presence.
But Adi is one of those floaters. So, like, it's not a guy that works. You chase him at every ruck. He sort of stands and he does his own thing. He sort of roams, similar to like a George Smith. There'll be a small little line break,
But big moment.
and someone lands at his feet. The two guys are coming off the bench, Toka Ao and Duplessis Karibi. They're going to keep you busy.
Yeah.
They've got those body types as well. With like Adi, there's a bit more of a target. Duplessis Karibi just looks like squat. He looks like these wine fridges, the small little ones, the 30 bottle holder wine fridge. You know, like it's hard to move in. And we've seen with the Boks, there's a focus on it. We start the game as well, but then we drop off over the course of the game regarding our target accuracy, because we want to play ambitious rugby. I think we're going to be a bit more, straight down the line this weekend. But like as soon as it starts opening up, you need to be so accurate on your first target, your first arrival. Who's the threat? And I think the Boks has just dropped off over time.
To stick to the loose forward, Scala. So I think if everyone's fit and we select our strongest team, then you probably then you do have Siya and Pieter-Steph as two of your loose forwards. And I think Marco van Staden has actually been really good this year as well. You know, our view in that it will be difficult for them is based on more the fact that they haven't played together that much, and also Siya a little bit undercooked because of the injury that he had. Do you think that that's also why they gave Jesse the captaincy, because they see will probably go 30, max 40 minutes?
I think they want to get what they can out of Siya. So I think for him, successful weekend this weekend's 40, maybe 45. and then you've got Kwagga coming on. So yeah, I think that's the role for Sia. I don't think they would have played him this week. That's normally where the Boks are carrying a few things, is when the announcement comes late in the week. And again, I think it's just because Jean-Luc picked up a niggle on Tuesday. I think they said he got a bump on his knee. So again, hell of an unfortunate for him, because he would have had the start. So. Like when you're in these big test matches, yes, you can go. Adrenaline carries you somewhere. But when you're carrying something, sometimes as well, it goes the other way. Because you can't really do what you're supposed to do. But they must have enough comfort that Sia can go for 45 minutes or 40 minutes this weekend.
Ruan Orkia starting? Has he now pipped Lewitt and Franco Mostert as number one, number 5 lock? Or is it horses for courses?
I think they're looking for a couple of things this week, and that's why I think you see Villiers on the bench behind Thomas du Toit. The All Blacks will stress our defence.
Yeah.
And you need work rate, you need to move. And obviously what they see in Ruan Orkia and like Thomas du Toit, what you see with him in the Prem is high grass. Not only scrummaging, but like high moves around the park. Because our defence has actually been poor compared to our standards, and I think that's why Villiers come in. And then if Kainan does get it wrong, I think you've got Ethan Hooker to back them up. But Villiers will be the ears, the eyes behind Cheslin, behind Kainan.
Just that experience.
For our backfield.
Set phases has been a key to a lot of the success that we've had traditionally, Flo. Will we get the dominance at scrum time this weekend? Because I think the All Blacks have got a vastly improved scrum, and also depth in scrummaging and line-out time. Will parity be enough for us, and will we get that on both those ends?
Look, I think it's always going to be a challenge to claim set-piece dominance beforehand against the All Blacks, especially the magnitude of this game. I think especially where we are within the championship, the competitiveness of it, coming away with one loss and a win over the last 2 fixtures. Of course, there's going to be super emphasis on that, because you set your platform, you get your set piece. That's a massive stride going forward, and giving your backs and your speedsters opportunity to attack. I think there's always a lot of emphasis, and maybe this circles back to what we spoke about earlier. There's a lot of emphasis always put on, can the Boks meet New Zealand in New Zealand at Eden Park? But try and put yourself in the mindset of the All Blacks right now. They've lost the last 4 games against South Africa. They just lost to get Argentina pushed through. Yeah. The Boks are wounded, but we're back to playing the type of rugby, winning ways again. They need to win there. They're seeing this as the pressure's on them. They haven't lost there in a heck of a long time. They're playing against a good outfit. Yeah. It's a pretty sizey team that Rassie's picked this weekend.
I like where you're going with this, Flo. I like it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Set piece is part of that.
Flo's got to keep on going, but just stop before he says we are the favourites.
So we definitely can't win.
We're the underdog.
But a little bit of doubt creeps in, right?
But what I'm saying is, because that leads into set piece, because as a forward, there's a massive pride thing around that, because you muscling each other. You say, are we stronger than you physically at the scrums, at the maul time? We're going to outsmart you in at the line-outs. We're going to be quicker than you, faster than you, and we're going to be spot on with our delivery and execution of our plays there. And they know it's coming. Yeah. As we know, we're going to be facing our old foe, which is going to be super tough. Yeah. But it is and it will be a massive turning point in the game. If you can dominate your set piece, or the majority of your set piece, you got the upper hand.
John, under Razor, how brave do you think? When does the pressure get to him? How brave is he going to set up his side this weekend? So, against France, they started playing that one test match, the middle test match, out of their own 22 with all chip kick grubbers, found themselves trailing, had to go down to the trenches to get the victory. Do they go and say, listen, we're going to run it at the Boks look vulnerable in defence, let's play from out deep, or do you just do the basics well, convert to opportunities? What is Razor's identity for this weekend?
Because that's what they've reverted to, right? They've I kind of made the statement as well. The Boks are playing more like the All Blacks, and the All Blacks are playing more like the Boks. Yeah. The All Blacks have reverted to in the 22, low risk, strong set phases, lots of mauling, maul tries. So now to go out and have a full-on attacking approach, which is where they seem to be in their comfort zone traditionally. To go back to that would be a change in tactics, in my view. So it will be. This one is a fascinating one for me because I think there's doubt within both these teams, and they kind of in between structures in the way that they want to play. Where they were traditionally and where they want to go in the future. And the one element of that I think can have a big bearing on the All Blacks is they're always so good on the turnover. But, the talks from within New Zealand as well is that with Rieko Ioane now on the wing, he doesn't cover that much ground in helping Will Jordan at the back. So Jordan covers like 2/3 of the ground and he's not getting the assistance from his winger. That's why he scored, a lot of the times by himself or having to counter-attack by himself, and they don't have the reward that they normally get. So that'll be a big one for me to see how because we've spoken about the breakdown, we've spoken about the tight phases, but then the kicking game, I think there we've got the upper hand and probably more experience in that element.
Because, I think what's going to linger is the second test against Argentina in Buenos Aires.
Yep.
Like exactly the stats, meters, carries, passes, Argentina, they did in New Zealand on them. They just bossed the ball. Yes, New Zealand had discipline problems, 3 yellow cards. That doesn't help against this Argentinian side. But still, do they then go, all right, guys, that's not how. We're not going to die wondering like we did down in Buenos Aires. We are actually going to go, we are playing. And I think that's going to be the trick because the Boks are going to go, you can do that from your own 22. We're not going to overplay on our own half, not this weekend.
Well, guys, fascinating stuff. Shimmy, as we know, is in New Zealand, and he has caught up with a former All Black Centurion and former All Black fullback in Mills Muliaina. So we haven't seen this clip. We'll have a look at this clip, and after we've watched that, that'll take us to the break to see where the Boks are at tactically. Show us that clip, Mr. Cameraman.
Against South Africa a lot of times. What was your general game plan, especially on attack when you played the Springboks?
We always try to run down the Villiers sort of channel, because of the fact that every time we looked at him, he was more looking after his hair than anything else. Right? Yeah, John de Villiers, he was always like looking after his hair. He was a pretty boy. He got a scar a couple of times, but the game plan was run at him, and any time you got the ball, tackle him.
There was a punch actually, right to Perky. It was in Cape Town, knocked him out.
Gee.
It was one of the best punches you've ever seen.
He can punch.
Yes,
and that was the other reason, he obviously punched him too hard. Even if you flicked John de Villiers, he'd fall over backwards, wouldn't he? That's how easy he was, but I'm surprised Roy actually wanted to punch him that hard.
And he also went for intercepts, which was easy because he didn't want to make tackles.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. When you're playing at second five, you look at the guys like your Martin Onus of the world that like to make tackles and put pressure on you. When you're going after intercepts, well, why would you do that? You just want to play touch rugby, wouldn't you? Hey? Hey, game plan. Run at John de Villiers.
Yes, John.
Okay, guys. Ha, ha, ha. Shimmy's so funny.
You never had to look after your hair. It was gelled so bloody hard.
No, I never played with gel in my
You
hair.
didn't need a scrumpet. That thing's hard enough.
Scrumpet.
That thing's hard enough, boyki.
No, I never played with gel in my hair. But okay, Shimmy.
Never.
Nice one. Thanks, Mills. It's great to see you as well. Guys, we by moment. So how this works, Flo, you need to tell us who you think is going to be the impact player in this game, but you need to sell it to us as a car salesman.
Can I use my notes? I made some
You
notes.
can use your notes. I like the fact that you are prepared. Schalk, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I never prepare for these ones,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go for Villiers, okay?
I thought we were supposed to guess it.
Okay, go and then we'll guess.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Choose a new one.
We'll guess, just go.
And I'm going to liken him to my old defender.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he starts first time, sometimes he doesn't. Likes to mark his territory. With a drop of oil. Crunches into second every other day, but the day he doesn't crunch into second, and he actually starts first time. He's drives like a bloody Rolls Royce with a Land Rover badge.
There we go. That was very good.
Villiers.
It's Villiers, right?
Yeah. That's it. Great.
Okay, Flo, can I go?
Oh, okay, yes.
Because mine is close. Meet our Springbok player who is like a powerful all-terrain Land Rover Defender.
Yeah, you're copying
Built,
me. Boy.
yes. But did you also do the same?
No.
I just asked you. Built to dominate the scrum with unstoppable force and precision. With his compact 5'8" frame and 271-pound build, he's a high-performance engine, blending raw strength with agile handling to bulldoze opponents. Excuse me. And carry his team to glory. Come test drive this game-changing machine, his championship pedigree and relentless drive, making the ultimate addition to your rugby garage.
It's obviously a back at 5'8".
Thomas Tutoy.
No, it built to dominate the scrum with unstoppable force.
5'8". Oxen chair.
Yes.
Very good.
Oh dear. Okay.
5'8".
Oxy, 5'8".
I was close. My one.
Okay, go Flo.
Okay, he is like a Toyota Land Cruiser 300.
Ooh.
Strong,
Nice.
durable, endlessly reliable. He dominates rough terrain with torque and balance. He powers through contact, steady in defense, carrying teammates forward. Both combine raw strength and remarkable dependability. And he can whip a pass like no other.
Damien Delende.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Dukes.
Nice.
Nice.
Centers.
Well done.
See, centers
That's
are
good. I
important.
think he's going to have a good
What are the chances that Pete Speeder puts
Geordie
40
Barrett.
good shots on Geordie Barrett this weekend?
I think it's good.
side bet.
Yeah, we'll
But that's a
decide
good
better
one,
on that
Flo. I will actually, we need to pick one. I'll actually go with that because I'm looking forward to that battle. Geordie Barrett, Damien Delende, massive battle in the game.
I think
That's a big one.
I mean, Geordie Barrett's biggest player for New Zealand.
He's a huge player.
Yeah.
But if Doozy turns it on,
Yeah, he's
it's going to have
unreal.
a big influence.
No, that's what he's saying. That, you know, just that that matchup will be huge. Okay, guys. Which one are we going for? Are we going for
There's two
Villiers?
versus what? You went 2-1. You
Villiers,
said I
Ox.
also go for Damien.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, you
Two versus
can't-
one.
2 versus 1. I'm getting tagged up against you today, boys.
Are you happy that we go with Damien Delende?
I'm very happy with Dukes. I like Doogie. Yeah.
Okay, guys, our Coca-Cola section now. The build-up to the game. Huge box, All Blacks. We even have Coca-Cola cups now.
Nice. Does it have to be filled with Coca-Cola?
No,
Oh,
yeah, you can have anything in there. But please do remember, that's a very nice sound. So if you do take a sip of your Coca-Cola, remember at the back of the box shorts, we've got the Coca-Cola logo. Take a snapshot of that. Send that photo to @Coca-ColaZA, and you will be in a draw to win your very own Springbok shorts and also other Bok experiences. Have you seen that? Back of the shorts?
I have seen that. What Bok experiences?
I don't know exactly, but you played for the Boks, so you had plenty of Bok experiences. But you can also have these collectibles. I've got fiercest de Toya.
Thank you. I've got Damien there, I think.
yeah.
Andre-
I've also got Pete Steft that way. Pete Speeder.
Yeah, in the cup and also in the can. 500ml can. Okay, guys, any other add-ons for the Bok game? Last thoughts before we go quickly on Australia-Argentina.
You guys convinced that we're winning this game?
I think it's on a knife's edge. I think All Blacks still favourites. Obviously, a lot of this goes with heart. You want the Boks to win. The record we had at Ellis Park, it's broken now against Australia. So
63 years.
yeah, so these records eventually gets broken. I'd love us to break it.
Don't get me wrong. I would love nothing more. But I've picked the All Blacks for this weekend.
Nice.
Box for next weekend.
You stuck.
We don't like you anymore, Schalk. Last thoughts on the Boks game, Flo?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think this is where records are there to be broken, and I think the evidence 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, against us, but you know they can't stand forever. I think there is opportunity for us to take them this time round. You know, with all respect, you know, to that side, it's you know we faced some big All Black foes at that ground before, and this isn't quite the same side. You know, granted, there's work that has to be done, but it's definitely there for the taking.
Yeah, I don't think we ever say that.
No, what?
That it's not the same team that they were before.
Yeah,
the
you
All
can say
Blacks.
that.
They're a very strong team. No, they're very strong, and
We
we won't be able to
we
beat
must
them.
we must stop short of the
Yeah.
favourites tag.
We're
Just below. We're underdogs.
But we're not.
We're underdogs.
We are the underdogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokes. It's going to be a huge game. We are in studio from 3 a.m. as we mentioned earlier. So the first game on the weekend in Townsville, where the Wallabies will be hosting the Pumas, Los Pumas. How do we see that one going? Pumas have beaten the All Blacks, the Lions, and the Boks in the last year and gave Australia their heaviest ever defeat at home.
I think this
27,
this game.
67-27.
I mean, Townsville, we've got to think, great weather in the winter, maybe a little bit hot this time of the year already. It's going to be fast. You look at the two backlines that's picked, I think that's where you've got to focus. Obviously, Argentina's got their loose forwards. Matero's played 114 test matches. He's playing better than ever. Gonzalez, Kremer. But the guy who's really, I think, ignited the attacks is little Garcia.
The nine.
The nine. Then you've got the couple Carreras, Cinti, Delgui, Chocobares. I mean, they can play some rugby. But so too, what we've seen about the Wallabies, how's their back three? Toole comes in, Corey Toole, absolute gas, 7 specialist.
And Killaway starting at fullback because of right injury.
Tom Wright is the one caveat. I think he was really growing into his game. Unfortunately for him, he's a long-term knee injury. Valentini gets a start at number 6. And what we saw from the 2 test matches where the Boks flip and flop, so there was a bit of schizophrenia in the way we played between the 2 games. They were super consistent. Both stats matched up, so they definitely got a DNA. And what they can do is mix it up with the big boys. You saw that little narrow play, which ultimately led to the maul try in Cape Town, where it's Iketau on top of the ball, Tupou, Skelton, he's not playing this weekend, Valentini. And they basically just put the box in a bit of a hole and got a penalty off the back of it, kicked it out and mauled. So they've got options.
Nick White at 9, James O'Connor on the bench, so Tom Liner back. Very inexperienced at 10, but having Nick White at 9 certainly helps the cause in your 9-10 axis, right?
Yeah, you saw quickly he reacted to that penalty in Cape Town, and just off the cuff of that, catching the box unaware. It's always going to be a strong point of his game and of Australia's game. To get one over the opposition, catch them off guard and execute on that. But he's an experienced player. He's a niggly player. He'll try and get under the skins of the RGs, no doubt. But a good player nonetheless.
Joe Schmidt has done unbelievably well in rebuilding the Wallabies. Felipe Contempomi with the Pumas. It's been exceptional.
Well, I mean, there's
as
highlights.
As a player and now as a coach.
There's highlights reel. You're like All Blacks, he's got their number. The Boks in Argentina, heaviest ever defeat to the Wallabies. But then there is an inconsistency. Beat the Lions. Then straight off the back of that England tour there with, I would say, not completely a B team, but like a bit of a mix between younger players and experienced players. And then, they go on a walkabout for 2 weeks. First test match against New Zealand, 20, what was it, halftime, 29-5 or something behind? And then they turned it up the next week. So you sort of want to know what Argentina side pitches up, but when they're on, I mean, they can score some tries, and that's what makes them so dangerous. It's like they're almost like unstructured, but there's a bit of a backbone of structure. The rucks are so dynamic. That's why I think that Garcia's changed the way they attack. He just scoots. And then they've got some decent ball carriers. All 3 of those loose forwards can carry.
Is it all about consistency for both these teams, Flo? Australia and Argentina, they've shown what they can do. They've got the experience now, they've got the talent, but it's just being able to do it every single week where, maybe in the past, they didn't have that, especially Argentina. They beat the Lions in the UK, in Ireland, and then first games against England, they were pretty poor. Is it about consistency for them?
Yeah, I think consistency is ultimately what leads to success, especially over the long term. You want to back up victories and games, with as good, if not better, performances. That's ultimately what building is. And I think there's always a lot of passion involved, but you've got to be able to contain and control that passion for both sides, and be able to deliver something that's consistent, that allows you to, just improve week in and week out and get better and better and work towards, whether it's, right now within the championship or even looking so far ahead as towards building your squad for the World Cup. Skylar mentioned the backbone and having a style of play or a strategy that's quite consistent. Granted tweaks here and there with different personnel, but I think for both sides, they want to back up their performance and show it wasn't just one-offs or, a bad day for the opposition, but actually them playing a good brand of rugby that can have longevity.
Well, today wasn't a bad day for us because we had you
Thanks.
in studio with us. So thank you very much, Flo, for joining us.
It's been great.
That's
Hanging with you guys.
that's a John de Villiers love letter straight
Yeah.
there.
I feel it. Thank
It's
you.
been great. It's been great to see you. We will have you back on the show again. Skylar, thank you as always.
John, thank you very much. We're seeing a lot of each other this
Yeah.
weekend, so don't say goodbye.
I won't ever say it's not time to say goodbye.
It's not time to say
It's not
goodbye.
time to say goodbye.
See you in a few hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Please do remember that you can watch the verdict on SuperSport and on YouTube next week, Tuesday. You can also watch the live games of the Springboks live on SuperSport every single week. Let's hope for a big Bok performance. It's going to be a tough one, but it's against the All Blacks, so we are excited.